My name is Julie Brown, and I've been a member of the Unitarian Church of Harrisburg since 1999. I'm happy to be with you here today to share some thoughts on Mother's Day. Mother's Day has an interesting history, and it's largely undiscussed. It includes some roots in our state, some civil disobedience, and a connection to our faith. The following is borrowed from an article from Mother's Day entitled, "Mother's Day Turns 100, Its Surprisingly Dark History," written by Brian Handwerk and published in National Geographic on May 9th, 2014. This has been edited and revised to run in the time allotted. It all started in the 1850s when West Virginia women's organizer Anne Reeves Jarvis held Mother's Day work clubs to improve sanitary conditions and try to lower infant mortality by fighting disease and curbing milk contamination. The groups also tended wounded soldiers from both sides during the U.S. Civil War. In the post-war years, Jarvis and other women organized Mother's Friendship Day picnics and other events as pacifist strategies to unite former foes. Julia Ward Howe, a Unitarian, best known as the composer of the Battle Hymn of the Republic, issued a widely read Mother's Day proclamation in 1870, calling for women to take an active political role in promoting peace. Around the same time, Jarvis had initiated a Mother's Friendship Day for Union and Confederate loyalists across her state. But it was her daughter Anna who was most responsible for what we now call Mother's Day, and who would spend most of her later life fighting what it had become. Anna Jarvis never had children of her own, but the 1905 death of her own mother inspired her to organize the first Mother's Day observances in 1908. On May 10th of that year, families gathered at events at Jarvis's hometown of Grafton, West Virginia, at a church now renamed the International Mother's Day Shrine, as well as in Philadelphia, where Jarvis lived at the time, and in several other cities. Largely through her efforts, Mother's Day came to be observed in a growing number of cities and states until U.S. President Woodrow Wilson officially set aside the second Sunday in May in 1914 for the holiday. For Jarvis, it was a day where you'd go home to spend time with your mother and thank her for all that she did. It wasn't to celebrate all mothers, it was to celebrate your mother as a son or a daughter. That's why Jarvis stressed the singular Mother's Day, M-O-T-H-E-R apostrophe S, rather than the plural Mother's Day, M-O-T-H-E-R-S apostrophe. Anna Jarvis's idea of an intimate Mother's Day quickly became a commercial gold mine centering on buying and giving of flowers, candies, and greeting cards, a development that deeply disturbed her. She dedicated herself to returning Mother's Day to its reverent roots. She incorporated herself as the Mother's Day International Association and tried to retain some control of the holiday. She organized boycotts, threatened lawsuits, and even attacked First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt for using Mother's Day to raise funds for charities. The American War Mothers, which still exist, used Mother's Day for fundraising and sold carnations every year. Anna resented that, so she crashed their 1925 convention in Philadelphia and was arrested for disturbing the peace. Jarvis's fervent attempts to reform Mother's Day continued until at least the early 1940s. In 1948, she died at age 84 in Philadelphia's Marshall Square Sanitarium after battling dementia. Today, Mother's Day continues to roll on as an engine of consumerism. Americans spent nearly $20 billion for Mother's Day in 2014. It is the year's most popular holiday for dining out. Hallmark Cards, which sold its first Mother's Day cards in the early 1920s, reports that Mother's Day is the number 3 holiday for card exchange in the United States. The holiday Anna Jarvis launched has spread around much of the world, though it's celebrated in various ways and on various days. In much of the Arab world, Mother's Day is on March 21st, loosely coinciding with the start of spring. In Panama, it is celebrated on December 8th, when the Catholic Church honors one of the most famous of mothers, the Virgin Mary. In Thailand, mothers are honored on August 12th, the birthday of Queen Sirikit, who is considered by many to be the mother of all Thais. Britain's centuries-old Mothering Sunday, the fourth Sunday in the Christian period of Lent, began as a spring Sunday designated for people to visit their area's main cathedral or mother church, rather than their local parish. Mothering Sunday church travel led to family reunions, which in turn led to Britain's version of Mother's Day. And so ends the article and the history of the holiday. So now that we have some background on the roots of the day, let's get down to what it is now. It is a commercial holiday, which to some is a day full of love and appreciation for their best girl, Mom. For others, it is a day full of sorrow, either because of the loss of a mother or a mother's loss of children. Possibly it's difficult for those who are unable to become mothers. Or perhaps it's a day full of guilt, anger, or frustration brought about by a difficult relationship with Mom. If you stop for a moment to think about all of the women in your life, you will probably discover, as I have, that there is a vast spectrum of motherhood around you. In my own life, I have people I would refer to as militant non-parents. One of my female friends uses the proud statement, "child-free forever," and she puts her hands up like that when she says it. Unfortunately, she and other women who have made this choice are often ridiculed for refusing to become mothers. The judgment placed on them is harsh and unrelenting and decidedly unfair. Knowing that you are not mom material or merely not desiring to have children should not be grounds for societal shaming, but rather viewed as a responsible choice. It is absolutely not necessary for everyone to have children. So don't you think we should allow these women to receive Mother's Day cards from their pets without rolling our eyes? The answer is yes. We all know women who have wanted to have children but have been unable. Many of the women who have been the most motherly to me in my own life are those who have never had their own children. One was my great aunt, who remained childless but played the role of a motherly figure to me and others in the family. She taught me how to plant flowers, how to play cards, how to bake, and how to draw horses. She took me for long rides in the country to pick flowers, and she doted on me. This woman, who had no children, was one of the best mothers I ever had. Who in your life has been a mother to you in this way? There may be women we have no relation to who mother us. They may play the role of a mother without even trying. And interestingly, Anne and I did not coordinate this when so just you'll see in a minute. One woman who was motherly to me did so by setting a strong example. She accomplished this through the simple act of rebellion. She refused to sign up to bring food to a meeting. And when asked if she was just too busy to prepare something, her response was simply, "No, I just don't want to." In that awe-struck moment, with my mouth agape, it was like a light bulb lit up in my mind. Fireworks exploded and I knew freedom. She helped to rewire my brain. And I've been saying, "No, I just don't want to," ever since. This strong female presence is named Cordell Affelt, who unfortunately is not here today. But she has been a mother to me without knowing it. Who has been a mother to you and doesn't know it? Is it time to tell her? We need to remember those who come to this day having outlived their children, because they will have a much different perspective than anyone else could possibly comprehend. We also need to acknowledge those who reach Mother's Day without a mother, whether they have lost their mother or arrive at the holiday without love for a mother in their heart. On this day and all year, some people have a difficult relationship with mom, or possibly no relationship with mom. They don't make Hallmark cards that say, "You're a jerk, Mom, thanks for nothing." But I've always thought that maybe they should. This is one of the many reasons why it is probably wise not to ask people what they're doing for Mother's Day unless you already know it's okay to ask. Because standing in the card aisle can be torture for those who are getting a card from Mom simply because it's expected of them and not because Mom is the most special woman in their life. A few years ago, I had a Mother's Day that featured two extremes of experiences one could have of the holiday. It started out lovely with both of my daughters joining me for a picnic on a gorgeous spring day. It's one of my favorite memories of Mother's Day. But on the way home, the mood changed. We came across a horrific car accident, I should say truck accident, where a tractor trailer had overturned, and I stopped because I'm a nurse and I had an emergency kit. I will not describe in detail what I saw there, except that there was an entrapped driver and no emergency vehicles had yet arrived on the scene. I had a mother's anger. I felt angry on behalf of the trapped driver's mother. Angry because the ambulance took so long and the rescue crew wasn't there. Angry because semi-truck cabins bend like tin cans in accidents like this. And angry and sad on behalf of those trying to help, as I witnessed a group of people who never met each other or the victim screaming and crying in frustration because they couldn't get him out. Leaving there without knowing his fate, I realized that I had the best Mother's Day I have ever experienced, but that his mother would undoubtedly be having her worst. We have certain expectations of holidays, and Mother's Day is no exception. We need to be mindful of the experiences people have of this day and how they can be pleasant or absolutely devastating and anywhere in between. Let's face it, no matter what type of mother you are or have, the concept of motherhood is complicated. Being a mother is stressful in a way that you truly cannot comprehend until you are there. My own experience of motherhood has been a mixed bag of love, pride, frustration, and guilt. Let us not forget that gargantuan beast of motherly guilt. Let's go there for a moment. Never in my life have I ever felt as guilty over anything as I have over my own children. Most people with children want what's best for them, and we hold mothers to an impossibly high standard of perfection. Moms are to be loving and caring and kind and fix everything and find everything in plain sight, all while smiling and being pretty. Although this may sound like the standards placed on women in the 1950s, rest assured that these standards are still around, only now they're higher because now we have to do all of this and have a career or explain ourselves when we choose to stay home. Although I have much more emotional experiences in being judged as a mother, I'd like to share one that I just can't seem to let go of. Never in my life have I felt more judged than when I stood in the peanut butter aisle as a single mother with limited funds, and the choices included a jar that screams in my face, "Choosy moms choose Jif." Standing there, knowing that I really need to buy the generic, but that if I don't buy the Jif, I'm not choosy, means that if I don't buy the Jif, I'm a terrible mother. My child will never recover from this choice of peanut spread. What do? Is anyone looking? Do they know that I'm not choosy? What does choosy even mean? Am I a terrible person? Just buy the Jif. Just buy the Jif, because if you don't, it means you don't care. And I bought the damn Jif. We all judge mothers and non-mothers for being mothers or being non-mothers. We judge each other. We judge our own mothers, and this cycle is likely to continue. Is likely to continue. However, if we look back to the roots of the holiday, we find that the original intent was to honor the mother that we cherish. I say this can be the one or ones we were given, and or the one or ones we choose. So I'd like to be bold enough to give permission to all of us to make the decision of how we will celebrate. If you love your mother or mothers and she or they are still on this earth and you want to express your love, then do it. But don't just do it on the second Sunday in May, because being a mother requires so much more than picking the right peanut butter. And if you have a difficult relationship with mom and you don't want to observe this day, then don't. And if you are not a mother or do not have a mother or simply want to pretend the day doesn't exist, go for it. Buy a militant non-parent a card that wishes her Happy Mother's Day from her cats. Thank the women in your life who have been a source of love and inspiration. Love yourself for being a parent. Forgive yourself for not being perfect. Forgive your mom for not being perfect. Or don't. Today is just one of 365 days in a year to be thankful or resentful. It is your day no matter who you are, so use it wisely. At this time, we would like to invite you forward, as you are willing and able, to place gems in this vessel to honor those who have been motherly to you. This can be your birth mother, your adoptive mother, or any person you've felt mothered by, and it also does not have to be a female. Please simply state their name or names as you place the gem or gems into the vessel. If you do not wish to speak, just simply place them in the vessel. Anne and I will go first, and we invite you to join us as you are able. Thank you.